Andreas, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us at Risk Minds International. You've been talking about digital trust and why that's so important today.
Yes, I'm happy to talk about that topic. So digital trust is our approach to help clients manage the risks from digitization, analytics and data transformations with our clients. Now, a lot of clients across the world are embedding on digitization, data transformation analytics in various industries. Manufacturing companies collecting sensor data to optimize production processes. Retailers are using AI models to communicate with their clients, right? And our clients are investing heavily into digitizations of customer journeys and their IT infrastructure. Now, what we have seen is that not in all instances the risks associated with that have been taken care of. Think about cybersecurity issues, think about the unwanted use of AI models, think about loss of data, customer data, very sensitive customer data. What we see is that these risks need to be managed, and digital trust is our approach to manage that.
And can you give me an example of that, and how are you going about that?
Well, sure. I mean, there's like plenty of examples, and probably if you look into the news, you will see every week an issue on cybersecurity, for example. That hospitals are not able to treat their patients in a way because data is encrypted from some attacks, right? We've seen other examples in the cybersecurity area where companies lose their data or the systems break down and production needs to stop, so significant economic damage happening there. If you take AI as another example, looking into financial industry, into credit granting or credit lending decisions, that some institutions have been accused of not treating every customer fair and not equal in the way they actually grant credits. Same appears to hospitals. How do hospitals decide which service gets how to service different patients? And also there has been accusations that this has not been done in an equal way. Data is another very sensitive area where we've seen a lot of publicly announced fines, for example, from the European Data Protection Agency, which uses GDPR as the vehicle and actually fines companies for not protecting data. Data gets lost, it's not transparent to customers where data is being used, and then they issue fines. This also highlights a very specific challenge on the regulatory side, which is that across the world, regulators are stepping up and issuing new regulations and new policies, and it's extremely hard for companies to keep track of that. And that's an area where we're helping our clients as well.
So a plethora of risk there, and perhaps accelerated by this digitization acceleration
Yes.
we've seen through the COVID pandemic particularly
Yes.
as well. So how are you going about now helping those companies, and what are the solutions you're providing?
Yeah, so we typically start with a set of diagnostics tools that look very comprehensively into the various potential areas of risks and threats. Creating a heat map and then having in-depth discussions with our clients about potential areas which are at risk in technology, data analytics, right? And some of the questions we are answering, helping answer our clients is, for example, how can we prevent unwanted usage of AI, right? How can we prevent bias? How can we ensure that our AI models are transparent to our customers, how they're behaving, to really ensure trust of clients or our customers, how they deal with it. On the data protection side, we're helping our clients to really be compliant with the various data protection policies across the world and embed that as part of their strategy. On the technology side, we are supporting our clients in identifying, on the cyber side, potential vulnerable spots in the IT infrastructure, prioritizing them and define mitigating actions. And last but not least, it all comes down also to having a proper risk management and governance system in place that keeps track of these risks, monitors the mitigation, and puts controls in place in a way that is not intimidating and in a way that the organization doesn't feel this is hindering them, but really moves forward and gains trust with their clients.
Such a fast evolving situation. It must be an exciting space to be in. What message do you hope that perhaps anyone at this event listening to you takes away with them this week?
Well, I would say this is a topic that will become more and more important, right? And public is getting much more and more sensitive to topics like analytics failures, data loss, and technology cyber attacks. From our perspective, and I'm actually convinced that this is not something that you can address with a simple tool or technology or process. It needs to be embedded in an organization. It needs to be on everybody's mind who's working in data analytics technology, that you need to ensure trust of customers by really making sure your systems are solid, are working as expected, as they should be. That would be the one message.
Intrinsic, not just an overlay, if you like.
Exactly. It must be intrinsic in the work, in the way you develop models, in the way you treat data, you define a data architecture, you set up your IT infrastructure. It really needs to be embedded in the organization.
Andreas, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Great to talk to you today.
Happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.